Hi there, I'm Peter. Today on Amazon Rufus, we're examining why most consumable sellers are optimizing for the wrong moment and what the frequency plus occasion framework actually means for how Rufus recommends your product. Here's the thing about consumables and Rufus. You're not just competing for the first click. You're competing for the reorder. And the way Rufus weights frequency signals and occasion context is fundamentally different from how A9 ever worked. Most sellers have no idea this distinction even exists. So let's start with the real problem. You sell a consumable. Protein powder, coffee pods, supplements, cleaning supplies, something people buy more than once. You've got a solid keyword strategy, decent reviews, strong conversion rate. But when you look at your Rufus visibility, nothing. Or worse, you're showing up for one-time gifting queries when what you really want is to be the product Rufus recommends when someone types, reorder my protein powder, or I need more of that coffee I liked. That's not a listing optimization failure. That's a signal architecture problem. Here's what's actually happening. Rufus doesn't just read your listing and rank you. It operates with account memory. This is documented in Amazon's own technical case studies. When a customer has previously purchased or browsed a product, Rufus stores that context across sessions. It builds what's essentially a purchase history graph tied to individual shopping activity, and it uses that graph to inform future recommendations. Now here's where it gets interesting for consumables specifically. Rufus has an agentic reordering capability built into its architecture. A customer can say, reorder everything I bought for meal prep last month, and Rufus will execute that. It can say, get me more of that supplement I was taking, and Rufus will trace that back to a specific ASIN in their purchase history. The system even powers an auto-buy feature. Customers can set price targets, and Rufus will automatically repurchase when the price hits their threshold. What this means is that for consumables, there are actually two distinct Rufus visibility windows. The first is discovery, when someone searches best protein powder for muscle gain, and Rufus is deciding which products to recommend from cold. The second is reorder, when Rufus is working from an existing purchase history and surfacing products the customer has already bought, or products semantically similar to what they've consumed. Most sellers optimize only for discovery. That's the wrong priority weighting. The discovery query is brutally competitive. You're fighting against every brand in your category, and Rufus is pulling from reviews, Q&As, the product catalog, and external web sources. Being visible in discovery requires strong SPN coverage. That means your listing needs to clearly address subjective product needs, the activity your product supports, the goal it helps achieve, and the specific audience it's for. For a protein powder, that's not just whey protein isolate 25 grams per serving. It's designed for post-workout recovery on high-volume training days, or formulated for women managing caloric deficit without sacrificing muscle. But the reorder window, that's where consumable sellers are leaving serious money on the table. Triggered it. What occasion was associated with it? What was the context around that purchase? What was the customer's intent? What was the customer's mood? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship with the brand? What was the customer's relationship with the product? What was the customer's relationship triggered it? What occasion was associated with it? What attributes the customer seemed to prioritize? And when a customer comes back, even with a vague query like, I need more of that stuff I was taking for my workouts, Rufus maps their purchase history against the occasion and frequency signals embedded in your listing. This is what the frequency plus occasion framework addresses, and it has two components. Frequency signals tell Rufus that your product is designed for repeated use within a defined consumption cycle. So this is not the same as putting subscribe and save in your bullet points. Frequency signals live in how you describe use patterns in your listing copy and how your customer reviews characterize usage behavior. If your reviews consistently say, I buy this every month, or I've been using this daily for 6 months, Rufus's review ranking algorithm, which uses semantic similarity scoring, will surface those reviews more prominently when a user is asking reorder type queries. The more your review corpus is populated with frequency language, the stronger your signal. Occasion signals are about context of use, not just what your product does, but when and why someone reaches for it. Amazon's own SPN research shows that Rufus heavily weights the event facet, the specific moment or situation a product is associated with. For most consumables, that's not a calendar event like Christmas. It's a recurring daily or weekly ritual. Morning coffee routine, pre-workout window, evening wind down, Sunday meal prep. These are micro occasions and they're incredibly powerful for Rufus recommendation. And why? Because when a customer has purchased your product in the context of their morning coffee ritual and they later ask Rufus, what should I add to my morning routine? And Rufus isn't just doing a cold keyword match. It's combining their account memory with the occasion signals in your listing to determine relevance. If your listing describes that morning occasion clearly and your reviews reinforce it, your probability of appearing in that personalized recommendation goes up substantially. Most sellers assume Rufus treats consumables the same as any other product category. It doesn't. The standard advice: optimize your bullets, put keywords in your title, chase A9 ranking, misses the layered architecture Rufus actually uses for consumable re-engagement. A 9 never had account memory. A 9 never powered conversational reordering. A 9 didn't dynamically pull from purchase history and occasion context to weight recommendations. Rufus does all three. This isn't Amazon showing favoritism to big brands with deeper purchase histories. It's a structural mechanic. If you haven't engineered frequency and occasion signals into your listing, your competitors who have will pull ahead in reorder recommendations regardless of review count or title optimization. So what can you actually test right now? Pull your 3 best-selling consumable ASINs. Open your bullet points and product description. Look for how clearly you define the consumption cadence: daily, weekly, monthly, seasonal. If that language is missing, add it. Look for how precisely you describe the use occasion and the specific moment in someone's routine when they reach for your product. If your listing says great for health and wellness without naming a specific routine context, you're essentially invisible to occasion-based filtering. Then look at your reviews, run a quick scan for frequency language, words like daily, every morning, monthly order, been using for weeks. If that language is thin in your review corpus, that's a gap worth closing. Encourage verified purchasers to describe their routine when they leave feedback, not great product, but I use this every morning before my workout and I've reordered 4 times. One more thing worth checking. If you run subscribe and save, make sure your listing copy explicitly describes what the subscription cycle looks like in real life. Not the mechanics of subscribing, the actual usage pattern. A single bag covers approximately 4 weeks of daily use, gives Rufus the frequency scaffolding it needs to correctly place your product in reorder context. Bottom line, consumable optimization for Rufus is a 2-layer game. Layer 1 is discovery, SPN coverage, use case clarity, review quality. Layer 2 is retention, frequency signals, occasion context, and review language that describes how people actually live with your product over time. Most sellers have a layer 1 strategy. Almost nobody has a layer 2 strategy. That's the gap worth owning. And this episode is brought to you by Atomic, growth-oriented Amazon services for sellers who've outgrown generic agencies.